How's it going, gamers? It's Chongo here, and today I've got a gameplay commentary for you guys. The gameplay is of Battlefield Hardline, the beta on PC. I've been playing quite a bit of that and I've been having a fun time, so this is just going to be my first impressions of the game so far. So if you don't know, there's the Battlefield Hardline beta that's going underway right now. They announced it on the E3 press conference at the end. They said, oh, you can sign up now. I'll have a link in the description to sign up, but I don't know if sign up's still available, so if there's no link there, that's probably why. But yeah, they announced sign up and it got really hectic, and eventually I got in, downloaded it, and had a pretty fun time. And it's quite good. Like, I don't really know what I was expecting. I just kind of thought it might not have been as polished a game as what you'd expect these days, but it seemed quite good. It was actually more polished than Battlefield 4 was on release, so that was interesting. Although this is just the one map high tension and 2 game modes, but it's still, it runs really well on PC. There's no crashing, there's no, frame rate drops, nothing like that. It seems to run very well. So there are 2 modes available in the beta. The first one is Heist, and it's what you'd assume. The criminals try and pull off a heist, and the cops try and stop them. And the next mode is Blood Money. Now, this is where there's a certain amount of money that's located in the center of the map, and the criminals have to try and get some, and so do the cops, and they then take it back to their own individual vaults. But the enemy team can come and steal stuff from the vault, so you've got to try and get enough money, whether it's stealing it from the enemy's base or stealing it from the center of the map, as well as defend your own money, because they could just, rock up at your vault and start stealing stuff and drive away. It's also cool to have some new gadgets and stuff available, like zip lines. They're really fun to use. And it's interesting to see how they're doing it. I can't obviously judge how many guns there are in the game because there's only a few at the moment, and I'm assuming that's just because it's beta, but we'll have to see when that comes out. But I'm really hoping the rest of the game is as polished as this beta feels, just because it feels great. Like, the frame rate's really high, the game doesn't lag or anything like that. It feels a lot better than what Battlefield 4 did at launch, and it seems more enjoyable for me personally, because I'm kind of getting sick of just the whole, warfare kind of game. I mean, just team deathmatch and modes like that don't seem to interest me as much anymore because every game has them, whereas something like this is a bit different, how you've got to, try and grab some stuff from the middle of the map, take it back to your vault, and kind of defend. It's like a weird mix of all these modes put together. I also like how you actually get to choose what weapons you want to buy and what gadgets you want to buy as well. It kind of feels a little bit like Counter-Strike, but it still is a bit different. So depending on how well you do, so if you're doing well in a match, you'll get a certain amount of money, and then this can be used to buy, new weapons or new gadgets and stuff like that. However, they're not, you can keep unlocking them after the match, so that keeps going. So my understanding is when Battlefield Hardline does launch, it's probably going to be a lot of guns, and the more OP guns, or I suppose OP guns is a good word for it, would cost a lot more money, so you can save up to buy them. It's sort of similar to what Black Ops had, if I remember correctly. So I do like that kind of system, and it would be good to see certain guns, to get certain guns without being a certain level. I would like that, because if you save up a certain amount of money, you can get like a certain weapon. So I've been enjoying the game so far, and it's interesting to see, the Battlefield series go to a different place like this, as opposed to just the straight up warfare that the series is known for. And I mean, I've seen some people whinging about it being called Battlefield. They said, oh, it could be called anything else, and I kind of disagree with that, because the problem is, if you do go and try and make a different game like Cops and Robbers or whatever they would have called it if they didn't call it Battlefield Hardline, they'd need to then make it different from Battlefield. They'll need to, make different mechanics, and if they didn't do that, then people are going to be saying, oh, this is just a copy of Battlefield. I mean, it's kind of like what happened to Medal of Honor Warfighter. It wasn't really Medal of Honor, and it wasn't really Battlefield. It was a weird mix between the two, and it didn't really work well for that game. I mean, it was okay, but there was just too many problems with it. It didn't really know what it was as a game. So I definitely hope the rest of the game is as polished as this, especially when it comes to multiplayer, as well as the whole single player does sound really interesting, and I will have to see whether that, is what they explained. As fun as it sounds, it does sound interesting, well, definitely more interesting than the common warfighter single-player games we're getting at the moment, where it's just like, oh, you're a soldier and you go and do stuff. That's pretty much it. There's no real story. There's no real interest in the story whatsoever. So it'll be good to see a storyline that's at least slightly interesting, so we'll have to see how that plays out. So anyway, this brings me to the end of my video on Battlefield Hardline, the beta. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a like, and if you've got any comments about the beta, whether you're in it, whether you don't like Battlefield Hardline, anything like that, put it down below. And if you want to join the GamerHood, just subscribe. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time.